Hi, good evening, ladies. Welcome to our Surviving Swimsuit Season broadcast. This evening, we are going to have an outstanding time learning how we can take just trying to survive summer into a successful summer by discovering how we can have confidence in their swimsuits. My name is Barb Roose, and I am co-hosting tonight's broadcast with my friend, the super fabulous Shari Braendel. Shari, good evening. What can we expect tonight?
Good evening, Barb. I am thrilled to be here. And ladies, you are in for a treat because Barb is my new friend and she is the author of Enough Already. And I cannot tell you what an amazing book that is. And I'm not just saying that because we're here on the broadcast. I'm now making that required reading for all of my Christian image consultants who come through my training. And so I am pleased and honored to be able to do this online broadcast with all of you. And we are going to have fun tonight because what I get to do is tackle the practical. And when I say that, I get to teach you how to survive swimsuit season and what that means for you when you hit the dressing room and just show up and think, oh my goodness, how am I going to look better in a swimsuit? And so back to you, Barb, and just tell us what's going to happen from there.
Well, ladies, if you've never joined an online broadcast before, this is a fun event that we make possible, that we do for you. And the best part is that after the broadcast is over, you can share it with your friends. The broadcast will automatically be recorded to YouTube, and you have the chance, if you are on either Shari's social media or my social media, to share this with your friends. We think that it's going to be a great night, and it is such a privilege to have a chance to talk with you this evening. As Shari and I mentioned, we've become great friends. We managed to connect last summer when we discovered that we were both tall, we both love wearing high heels, and most of all, we discovered that our kids went to the same school and we had complementary platforms. Shortly, when I met Shari, I had a chance to get her book, Help Me Jesus, I Have Nothing to Wear. And this evening, ladies, you're going to have a chance to hear those practical tips that Shari has to offer. I know for me, her work has been a blessing. And so I hope that at the end of this evening, you will share this broadcast with your friends so that the blessing can be spread as many ways as possible. But before we get to that, I want to do a little inside work. Because before we put those swimsuits on the outside of our body, we got to do a little inner work. Swimsuit season probably highlights everything that we hate about us. And maybe you don't hate your entire body, but for most of us, there is at least one or two areas that we wish looked a little different. One of the things that inspired me to write my book, Enough Already, Winning Your Ugly Struggle with Beauty, was a 2004 Dove Foundation survey. And many of you have seen the Dove campaign for Real Beauty, but that campaign was inspired by a survey that went internationally with questions regarding how women took care of themselves. Well, one of those questions was, do you think that you're beautiful? Only 2% of women around the world said that they felt that they were beautiful. And that study was repeated in 2011, 7 years later. And that number only grew to 4%. Now, this is with women's clothes on. So I imagine that if we ask those of you watching us today, do you feel beautiful in a swimsuit? What percentage do you think would say yes? Well, tonight we want to change that. We want to bring confidence, but first we want to start with our hearts and minds. Because once you discover what kind of swimsuit looks great on your skin, you still want to know for a fact that you can walk confidently and not still have those nagging thoughts or that nagging feeling that maybe you're not enough. In my book, Enough Already, there is a framework that I share with women on how we can begin to see ourselves as beautiful and valuable as God does. You see, it's not enough for us to go, well, God, I know you think I'm beautiful, but I'm still going to hate everything about me. This framework actually gives us an opportunity to see ourselves and embrace the very same thing that God says about us. And the framework is simple. The framework is first to see the goodness, and then see the blessing, and then see the purpose. And this framework for me was inspired by a verse. If you are familiar with the Bible and you're familiar with Jesus, it's in Matthew chapter 6, and Jesus was talking to his disciples, and he was talking to them about a lot of do's and don'ts in life. But one of the great do's was seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added to you as well. And so that has been a huge verse in my life, this idea of seeing God first in all things, because it helps clarify my priorities, my thinking, how I filter through situations, and most of all, how I interact with my body. And so ladies, tonight, as we get some great tips and great information, I want to encourage you to write down and think about those 3 C's. See the goodness. That is how we look at our bodies and go, you know what? I may not love my thighs. I may not love the fact that they've got some cellulite. Maybe they're too skinny. Maybe they're a little too big. But my thighs have goodness. Why? Because they were created by an almighty God who said everything he made was good. And so my thighs are good. And then seeing the blessing. You know what? My hips, I always love my hips. They're a little bigger than I want them to be. But my hips are a blessing because they help support my whole body moving from point A to point B. When I was a kid, my grandfather had his hips removed. They actually took out his hips. And that meant that mobility was tough. Well, there's a lot of things to see and do this summer with your families, girls. And so if you don't like your hips, those hips are going to make your summer possible. And then the last is to see the purpose. Perhaps you don't love the stomach. It doesn't have a 6-pack. Maybe it's not tan. Maybe it's hanging a little lower than you want to. But to see the purpose of your body in all things. Because each area of our body serves a purpose that is a blessing. The big picture of tonight is we want you to be a part of all the memories and the moments happening in your family this summer. And so please see the goodness, see the purpose, and see the blessing in each area of your body that you struggle with. If that somehow resonated with you, on our event page, I'm going to post prayers that go along with see the blessing, see the goodness, and see the purpose. And you can just download this sheet for free, post it next to your closet or next to your mirror in your bathroom so that this can be an encouragement to you. So that's what we're doing to start with our head before we move on to our body. But now it's time to move on to our body. So Shari, are you ready to gear things up?
I am ready. And so I have my sunglasses. And I actually have my bathing suit cover up on. How about that? I wore it just for our audience tonight because, you know, sometimes we forget about that cover up and it's important that we have that as well. So I'll take these off for this. But we are going to start with your bodies and really help you to see the way that you're made. And when it comes time for bathing suit shopping, what I really want you to think about is really kind of grasp hold of is where it is that you gain your weight. And in any of my teaching, I talk about the BOD-X system, which is BODX. And it's really simple. B is for belly, O is for overly endowed, D is derriere, and X is a balanced body shape. The goal in dressing, even if it is with a bathing suit, is to look like an X and to look as balanced as possible, even though we're in a swimsuit. However, I don't want to stand here or sit here actually and say, oh, you can look, completely balanced in a bathing suit when our legs, all of our legs are sticking out and our arms are sticking out and really we feel so exposed to the world. However, we also have to be realistic and realize that we are going to be in the sun, and whether we're at the beach or at the pool, we would look a little silly showing up in long pants and long sleeve shirt, right? And so we have to come to terms with the fact that a bathing suit is an important part of a woman's wardrobe, especially if she loves outdoors and you're going to be, vacationing with your family and that kind of thing. So what I want you to do is come to terms with your body and really kind of make peace with those areas, and then kind of let go of the rest so you can kind of move on and understand that after our broadcast tonight, you will be armed with where, not really where, we will discuss that if you have questions on that, but what to look for, because I really believe that you can get a bathing suit at a discount place as much as you can at an expensive swim store, but really knowing what you're going to look for. So Barb, if it's okay with you, if you'll throw up that first screen, I want them to take a look at this, because what I'm going to do is I am going to show and I'm going to discuss each of the body shapes kind of as we go along. And ladies, what I want you to think about right now is where the challenge area is, where your greatest challenge is on your body. So if you were going to take your hands, and if I were standing in front of you, I'd say, put your hands on the area of your body where you gain the most amount of weight. Now, if you go to your belly, which a lot of women do, in fact, we realize that about 75% of women, that's like the main place that they gain weight, even or even a little bit gain weight. But even if you gain your derriere, or what happens is as we hit a certain age, and we may call that menopause, and some is pre-menopause and some is post, but sometimes that belly fat just doesn't go away. And I really rather call it belly fluff, because we don't really want to call it fat anymore. So we want to consider that a belly area is a big area that happens on most women, where you're going to gain some weight. And so as you think about this, I'm going to walk you through the 4 body shapes and what to look for and how to turn your body into that X shape and kind of forget about the other areas. All right, so here's the thing. First of all, after our broadcast and when it's time to go buy with swimsuit, I do want you to try on last year's swimsuit and stand in front of a full-length mirror and look at yourself from all angles, because the areas that need to be covered up should be covered up. Now, I also am not going to kid anyone that covering up a lot of areas on a body just is trouble. And so when you're looking at a B body shape, we want to consider that first area that we want to cover is, of course, the belly. And so take a look at the 2 suits that I have on the screen. First of all, typically if you're going to gain weight in your belly, you're going to have shoulders and hips that are pretty even. And so it's the mid area. I don't know if I can show you with a pointer or not. Barb, tell me if I am. Does my pointer work?
No, but I think that I can make a pointer.
Okay, that'd be awesome. If you could sort of just go to the belly as I talk about the areas, that would be wonderful.
Anyway, I'm gonna try to do that.
All right, great. The most important thing when you shop for a bathing suit, if you gain weight in your belly, is to make sure that the area on your belly, your bathing suit, is not clinging to your body. So if you will look at the first bathing suit, the purple bathing suit, you're going to notice that the top, this is a tankini. And so it's a 2-piece, a bathing suit under, the bottom's underneath and then the top. It flows away from the body. Look at bathing suit number 2. It's got 3 rows of ruffles. Those ruffles camouflage the belly. That is key. The other thing that I love about the first bathing suit, the purple bathing suit, is it has what looks like it's kind of a reverse halter top. A halter top typically is going to go around the neck. All right, so it's going to tie around the neck. I'm going to try to make my screen a little bit more so you can see going this way. But this one is reverse. It kind of gives the illusion of a V-neck. Ladies, when you gain weight in your bellies, a V-neck will always make you look slimmer. The reason for that is that the eye goes to the center of the body. And so I love that because it's giving the illusion really of an X body shape. All right, let's go to slide number 2. Next, we're going to talk about a body that is a plus size or a full size body shape, which is our O body shapes, overly endowed. And typically our overly endowed ladies gain also in the belly, and they typically have a flat derriere, but they have really nice legs. So if you gain evenly all over, and maybe you're not at your ideal weight, perhaps you fall into the O category. But typically our O's are your fluffier areas, from almost kind of, you've heard body shapes described possibly as apples before, but your body shape really is from the waist area up to the and overly endowed. All right, so as you look at this screen of this PowerPoint, on here I actually have a don't for a body shape, and I'll bet every single one of you, if you looked closely enough, could see that the number 2 bathing suit with it's the navy blue one, has no pattern on it, is the no. Why is this bathing suit a no? Well, the reason is if you have a fluffier figure, if you are a full-size woman, I want you to think 2 things. Number 1, patterns. Patterns will always camouflage a fuller figure. By the way, they also camouflage a small bust line as well. They'll make a small bust line appear less small. So if you have a small bust line, know that. But so 2 things. So number 1, you want patterns for a fuller figure. And number 2, you want the same kind of thing that the B body shapes want, that have a little bit of movement and are maybe more of a skirt type that we can see here. And so if you look at number 1 suit, you're going to see that with the chevron print at the top, it's camouflaging. If she were if that was a solid color, what happens is the eye only has 2 places to go, as you can look at on bathing suit number 2. Also, that bathing suit is too low for her. She's falling out to the side, and the bathing suit is too snug. And so it's not flattering at all. And really, those 4 women who you see on the screen are very similar body shapes. And then you'll look at number 3 and number 4 and those are both very suitable swimsuits for a full figure.
Now, Shari, I had a question come in from someone, and the question was this: could you please tell us what type of suit would be available? Having difficulty finding a plus size suit for a 40D bra size for a teen.
Wow.
Yes, and so would prefer it to be a modest suit, and for it to still be trendy, but a large breast size for a teen. How do these suits, which are kind of for women, what would be your recommendation?
Well, there's actually a website, and you know what? I had it written down in front of me, and I with all my notes, I'll post it on the Facebook page after, but I think it's called swimsuitsforall.com. I think that's what it is. There is there's a place there that you'll be able to go to the website and look. But the main thing, even for a teen, is to get something like a miracle suit or a magic suit, especially somebody who has that full of a bust, a young teen. And because you want the fabric, and this is for our plus size ladies as well, you want the fabric to have what we call Miratex in it. Miratex has 3 times the amount of spandex that any other suit has. So whether she's a teen girl or a woman, you are going to be spending more money on a bathing suit. Now, when you want something to kind of tuck you in and sort of lift you up. The other thing is, for a teen, Miracle Suit actually has some really they're more youthful bathing suits, that you would find that at a department store. And just know that you can't go to as you know, probably even shopping with her, it's hard to go to the junior department. You want to go to the women's department and go into a department store that has the brand called Miracle Suit, and I think you'll find what you need.
Now, Shari, along those lines, there was also another question that talked about women who were more endowed, large-chested, and asking about what the right kind of support is for those women.
All right. Well, you have to have an underwire in the bathing suit. And so that's another thing that the miracle suits and the magic suits have. You can't just go and get a bathing suit that has no support in it. And that tends to be what happens when you go think cheaper. See, here's what's going to happen, ladies. You think, oh, I don't wear a bathing suit that much, and so I'm going to go cheap on that. You absolutely can't. Honestly, if you are a fuller figure and you need support, and even for your daughters, you really need to think about spending $100 on a bathing suit. Don't fall out. But that bathing suit can last you years. Because
I almost fell out, Shari.
I saw you. I saw you. Now, I recently got a miracle suit bathing suit at a discount store for $60. The original price was $150, but I know what I'm looking for and can do that in a discount store. Do you understand? So I want you to think, you may even have to, don't buy something else. Don't buy, 6 pair of capris this summer if you're going to be at the pool. Because honestly, ladies, it's an area that you have to have care. And not only are you thinking about yourselves, but from a dignity perspective, you have to think about the other people around you. If you lean over to play with your kids in a cheap bathing suit, you're either going to fall out in the top or you're going to fall out on the bottom.
Oh, honey. And I know there's some ladies out there who know how that is. Yes, it is a family show, y'all. It is a family show at the beach.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Can you tell us the name of the fabric again?
Miratex. And
how do you spell it so the ladies can write it down as they're looking for it?
M-I-R, M like in Mary, I-R-T-E-X as in xylophone.
Wonderful.
How about that for coming up with a word?
That is awesome. Now, you mentioned that women should just go ahead and purchase the suits, spend the money. How many swimsuits should a woman own? Because swimsuit material doesn't last forever.
Right. Doesn't last forever. It depends on how much you're at the pool. I just replaced my swimsuit. The other swimsuit that I just replaced, I had for at least 6 years. Now, maybe you like to go buy a swimsuit every year. But for me, I'm going to spend good money on a swimsuit, and I know I'm getting 5 or 6 years use out of it.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay. So know what you're looking for. Go armed with your information and the things that you know that you want in a suit, and don't settle.
Fantastic. Well, I wanted to toss in a few of those questions. Are you ready to pick up with the next area on Bob X?
Yes, would love to.
Wonderful.
Let's go back to the full size slide and just make sure that I think we've seen everything there. Perfect. And let's go to the next slide, which would be the D body shape. If your challenge area is your hips and your thighs, then of course you're going to want to disguise that area. Well, obviously a bathing suit, you can't really wear, a long skirt to the beach or the pool. And in a couple more slides, I'm going to show you the different skirt bottoms and bottoms, but I don't want to go there yet. But when you are disguising your D body shape, I want you to look at these slides, the pictures here, because the most important thing is for you to have either horizontal stripes or width on the top of your body, all right, up here, or to have a skirted effect at the bottom. What we're trying to do is we're trying to balance the bottom. So if you have hips and thighs, then I've got to create some width up top. And that's what we've done in that first bathing suit with the stripes. What we've done is we have horizontal stripes on top and we have vertical stripes on the bottom. Well, it's kind of inverted, sort of like a chevron, right? And so this way, by the way, if you look in the mirror, most of you who gain in your hips and your thighs are going to have more of a narrow shoulder. And even if you don't really have a narrow shoulder, it's going to appear that you do because your hips are wider. So we want to balance that out and bring the shoulders outward. And we do that with straps that are out here. Never, ever, ever wear a halter top if you have a D body shape.
Now, why is that?
Because it makes your upper body appear really small and your hips really large. We want to balance. So I've got to bring the straps outward so it creates that X-like look.
Well, I love that tip because I know that there are, based on all of the study and research, this is the area where women feel the least comfortable with. And so, ladies, I hope you captured that big takeaway of making sure that you've got straps that are set apart when you are choosing a swimsuit. I think that that is a big, big thing as a takeaway.
Good. And you know, that also follows up with if you weren't getting a sundress or a wedding dress or anything, if you gain in your hips and thighs, no halter top for you. We want to balance, bring the straps outward always. I'm sure we have probably a bride on the broadcast who's about to get married who has a halter dress and who's freaking out about now, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, I'm sure it'll be beautiful. But anyway, notice the second slide where the straps are out and the skirt is out. Now, the key thing about having a skirted suit is that you do not want your skirt to end at the fullest part of your hips and thighs. So when I show you the bottoms in the next in a little bit here, you want to base your bottom that you're going to choose on whether or not on where you gain your weight, you know, where the largest part of your thighs are. So what you want to stand in a full length mirror and take your hands and put them kind of, you know, really seek that out. Like, okay, do I gain, you know, at the end, is it right at the end of my fingertips? Is it shorter? Is it longer? So pay attention and make sure your skirt of your suit is either longer than or shorter than. Longer than is preferable. All right, let's go ahead and see that next slide.
All right, give me a moment for transition.
All righty.
Because there is a piece of the tech that I am only moderately awesome at. And so I gotta work this little transition for a moment. Ladies, you should have seen Shari and I before the broadcast. Woo! Honest. We were working it.
We were working it.
I've got the X shape, is that correct?
That's correct. All right. So here you're going to see a balanced figure. And many of you ladies have a balanced figure. And so you're going to see the purple suit, the second suit there is beautiful. That is a miracle suit, by the way. And you can see the ruching that's happening in the middle of the suit. That really camouflages if you have a little bit of a fluffy middle. And it's just a beautiful suit. But I also wanted to show the first suit because when we got the question about teens, this is a great suit for teenagers, teen girls, because it's made by Patagonia, and Patagonia is a very popular brand with teenagers and young college students. And so I love this suit because it looks sporty, yet it's very dignified, and it's fashionable. And so check out Patagonia for your teen girls because I think they could be at the beach and play volleyball and jump and run and look very trendy as well. I love that. I love that. It also has built-in cups. And so that's going to help support. Not sure that it goes to a 40D or double D, but I could certainly check that out for you and put that on the Facebook page. And then if you'll go to the next slide, and by the way, for you X body shapes, as she is transitioning, for the X body shapes, just know that you can wear about any suit. Just pay attention to your challenge areas, and then dress accordingly. Just like we would a regular wardrobe, you would do the same with a swimsuit. All right, so here are the different swim bottoms. I am a huge component of tankinis because tankinis, you can choose your bottom and then your top is made of the Mirotex or the Miracle Suit or however you want to do that. Also, you can switch your bottoms up. But I wanted you to really see the different types of bottoms and to be on the lookout when you go to the store for that. And so, for example, skirt number 1 and number 2, what is the difference of these is the length. You can get, as you'll see, her hands are down to the side. One is just below or right at fingertips, and one is below. Actually, on these maybe they both look a little below fingertips, but inches wise, they're longer than. And I could not, there really isn't kind of a standard length. There are actually, I mean, they have 8-inch, they have 10-inch, but in stores, don't feel like you have to take your measuring tape. The most important thing for you is making sure that you pull on a skirt that's either longer than your fullest part. And it's also a great way to be, modest and dignified at the beach, right? I don't like the word modesty anymore, only because our young girls freak out about it. That's why I use dignity, because dignity means that you're worthy of honor and respect. And we want our young girls to think that, and I want you to think that as well as women. All right, and then next you'll see shorts. They're boy shorts, and so that's a great bottom for teen girls, and maybe some of you sportier gals, X body shapes who can wear just about anything. Then the fourth bottom up there is called a short. It's a flirty short, so you can get, that's what they call it actually. It's the official name, but it has kind of like, a little bit of movement to it, but you can also get a longer short that's snug to your legs, kind of like a boy short. And then the last picture is a high cut brief. And I will tell you that I showed that picture because sometimes as women, first of all, that's a very flattering length for all legs, especially those of you who have a fuller leg at the bottom and you want to disguise, if you don't, your hips and thighs, if you don't want to wear a skirted bottom or a shorts, right, bottom, then you want to go for a high cut brief, because what it does is it's a very visual lifting up of your legs, of the eye. What happens is if you wear a bathing suit that kind of is just almost like an old-fashioned, sort of rounded just at the top of the leg, it will make you look bigger. So that's that. Are there any questions before we move on to just cover-ups? If you want to share a question with me, Barb, I'm happy to answer one now.
Yes, there are some questions that we have. This is a big area. One of the questions was an age-related question, and wondered, were there certain swimsuits that were that tended swimsuit styles that were more geared for women who are under the age of 30? And then what are some swimsuit styles? Like there was one of the viewers said at 40 years old, just wondering which swimsuit was still age appropriate. So of these swim bottoms, are there swim bottoms that tend to look better on younger women? And are there swim bottoms that tend to be ageless?
Yes, absolutely. On a younger woman, if you have a great figure and you don't have a lot of challenge area, then go for the boy shorts or even the high cut brief, because even a lower cut, but a high cut leg is what you want to go for. If you're a younger woman under 30, don't go for a long skirt. You're not going to look, it's a more dignified look, but it's also not age appropriate for somebody, I would say 35 or under. Go ahead and be fresh and trendy and don't do that. As you get older and more mature, as we'd like to say, we want to cover up a little bit more. And so, a longer skirt length might be great for somebody like that, more age appropriate.
Now, there are a lot of women out there who love tankinis. However, not all tankinis are created equal. So there are what are some tankini things that you can tell us about how to find one that fits best for us? Because there are some that kind of are that are wider at the bottom, that are more fitted. Kind of what are some of your tips?
Well, I love tankinis, and I think tankinis are actually more flattering and more dignified than some one pieces nowadays, because what they're doing with one piece bathing suits is making them so skimpy and cutouts all the way around. They can be very tough to, to find, however, or to wear. But a tankini, you follow the exact guidelines that I just gave for all the body shapes. So we have a tankini I don't have a bathing suit company, but you know what I'm saying. There are tankinis that are fitted to the body. Well, if you gain in your belly, you don't want that. You want more of a flow, one that's going to fall away from the body. Go armed with knowledge when you're on your bathing suit shopping trip, and know what you're going to look for. Write down 2 or 3 things that you really know that you are not going to settle for unless it has in your bathing suit. The other thing is, choose a bathing suit color that is very flattering to you. Don't feel like you have to get all black, although they're easy to find. And yes, dark colors recede, bright colors are going to pop out. But sometimes, it's fun to get a bathing suit in a fun pop color that flatters you. Because here's the thing, when we go to the beach, everybody's in a bathing suit, right? And so just make sure that yours is flattering and that it fits, and you bend over in the mirror in the dressing room, and then you stand back up and make sure that bathing suit stays in the same place. Because if it moves or lifts, then it's the wrong size. The other thing, ladies, you will most likely need to go up 1 size in your bathing suit. Do not think that people are going to know what size you wear if you walk onto the beach. Oh, she's in a size 14 and you're a size 12. Cut the tag out if you have to, if you want to forget. And like I tell audiences sometimes I cut half the tag out because I'm a 14. I'll just cut the 1 off and then I'm 4. So
how can you give the ladies some advice to help them know whether or not they need to get rid of the swimsuit that they have? They're listening to you tonight and they've got some tips and ideas, but how do you know when that swimsuit has just worn out its beachness?
Well, you stand in front of the mirror and you ask yourself, if this were in the store today, would I still buy it?
Great question.
Does this flatter me? And does this cover the challenge areas? Now, don't throw back at me, but my arms are the challenge areas and my whole body. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you, ladies. You are the only one who is obsessed by your own arms. Nobody's looking at your arms. You think they are, but every one of us has some flabby arms. I mean, there are a few out there that don't, but for the most part, do not be obsessed over the arms. I love what Barb said. Know the blessing, know the purpose, because here's the thing. If you didn't have arms, there are 2 kids this week that got their arms eaten by sharks right here in North Carolina. Now they don't have their arms to use anymore. You've got to get over your own self when it comes to your flabby arms, because guess what? You're the only one obsessed by them. Nobody else is looking. So wear the sleeveless. Who cares? It's hot outside. So I want to free you from your arms right now. I want to just free you from that.
Well, now, one thing I forgot to mention for our viewers, Shari, is that depending on the device that you're using, you have the chance to send us questions. And we just received a question from Marissa. Hi, Marissa. Thanks for being a part of the broadcast. And Shari, she wants to know about swim dresses. What about those? What are some of the things? Is it the same rules as everything else? Tell us about them.
Yeah, it absolutely, it's same rules. It's absolutely the same. Just make sure that the swim dress, first of all, doesn't look dowdy. I think sometimes they can tend to look a little dowdy. See, here's the thing, is that when you go to the beach, we want to not stand out, right? I mean, honestly, we want to fit in, but fit in a way that, well, let's say this. If you walked into the beach, kind of like I said, with long pants and a shirt, people are going to notice you. If you walk onto the beach with a swim dress that doesn't that kind of looks a little out of place, almost too dowdy or frumpy, then you're also going to be, people are going to notice you more. So make sure that that's form-fitting, yet it disguises your challenge areas. Follow the same rules.
Wonderful. I love that. Well, Shari, in addition to our swimsuits, when we hit the beach, what else should we take with us? There are some accessories that you'll tell us about a few. You've got your swim top on, and then you're also going to post the full list at your website. But like, what's the way to set ourselves up for success?
All right. Well, will you go ahead and show them that slide that has the swim cover-ups on so they can sort of see that? I don't think any swim wardrobe is complete without a proper swimsuit cover-up. There are many different kinds to choose from. I'm showing two here. And one is, you'll see, I'm not a big fan of bikinis, but it looks like this gal has one on. But really, don't send me emails on that, please. It's just that I wanted to show you the sarong that she had on at the bottom. And anybody, I probably get more emails than anybody in ministry, Barb, because of what I do, speak on fashion and faith. But my whole point is that if we don't have Christians speaking out on the topic of fashion, guess what? They're hearing the advice from the world. And so we all need to band together and help our sisters in Christ know that it's okay to wear bathing suits and it's okay to look good, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to talk about that just for a minute when you're all done, just as one more encouragement for them. And
awesome.
So we've got the sarong that's there. And so what is it that a sarong can do to really help make us look extra super fabulous on the beach?
Well, first of all, it's very fashionable, and you can tie one up right on the side of your waist. And guess what? You can wear that out from your hotel room to the beach, from your house to the pool, to wherever you're going. And it completely is going to cover your hips and thighs if that's where area of challenges for you. It's also really pretty that if you were going to go to a pool party, you wear that. It's long, you wear cute little sandals with it, and you're good to go. The other cover up has sheer. It's more sheer, and I wanted to show that those of you, I already gave you the arm talk tonight, but if you're so concerned, then get a cover up that has a little bit that's sheer, that just kind of camouflages, and make sure it's long enough. And because we don't want really short cover ups, because what's the point of that? And a few of the other accessories that I wanted to share with you before we get back to Barb here is that make sure you have a really cute beach bag, because you've got to carry all of your things in there, right? Also, a great pair of sunglasses. Yes, just like this. You want to have a great pair of sunglasses. A hat is important when you go to the beach. You want to either have a big floppy hat, which is great, or a ball cap. My ball cap is floral, and because my suit is a solid color, I can do a floral ball cap. But it's cute. You can throw your hair back if you have short hair or a ponytail, and kind of just, ball caps are darling. The other thing, you want to have a cute beach towel, right? And then little cute sandals to wear. And let's see, am I missing it? Of course, your sun protection if you need that. And I'll post the whole list on our Facebook page. Will that swim Facebook page be there?
The swim page on Facebook, yes, it will be there. We will leave it up. And ladies, for me, one of the fun parts about getting to know Shari, and especially reading her book, is that Help Me Jesus, I've Got Nothing to Wear. It is, if you love what you heard tonight, it is jam-packed information about color and accessorizing to help you look like your best you. And so if your hand is about to fall off from all of the note taking, really just grab the book, because there is so much in there that can bless you. Truly, truly. It is a book that I have recommended oodles and oodles of time. Anytime I talk with fashion to a woman, Shari's book is the one I send them to. So Shari, when it comes to just other things that women need to remember as we're kind of starting to wrap this thing up about surviving swimsuit season, making it a success, what else do you want to leave the ladies with?
I want to leave you with your shopping guide, meaning when you make a plan to go to the store, you're going to write down the 2 or 3 things that you're looking for in a suit, right? But do not take your children with you, and do not take a friend who is smaller than you.
Oh,
And I say that with love in my heart, because if you are trying on swimsuits, anybody who is smaller than you is always going to look smaller than you, and you're going to feel not so great. And you really want to have somebody who is maybe the same size as you, that you go together and you say, let's go do this. And if you have a teen daughter who's really, sweet and loving and can encourage you, then by all means, that's fine. I'm saying leave your small children at home, and don't take your husband either, because you don't want to walk out and have a man stand there. If I were another woman in a dressing room, I wouldn't want to come out and see your husband there. Does that make sense? So I say leave the husbands away from the ladies' dressing room, but just do that. I think it's fun to go with a friend of the same size, and it's because it's up here, and that's what Barb's going to discuss next. So that's why, getting you straight there.
Well, ladies, we are getting ready to wrap up this evening's broadcast. It has been so much fun for me to listen to Shari and how she has given us so many great practical tips and encouragement on finding what is best for us. Again, we're going to have this broadcast available on YouTube, so if you need to watch it again, but I just want to leave you with one more tidbit. We talked at the very beginning about the inside stuff. See the goodness, see the purpose, see the blessing. And now we've been given all of these practical tips. But then we've got the last piece of this, and that is when we have to believe that we have the right to do this for ourselves. We have to believe and know, and to get rid of all of the guilt, that it's okay for us to go out and for us to find a suit, for us to find things that make us look like our best us, that fit us well, fabrics that will hold up well. I know that we feel guilty often when we see other needs out there that need to be taken care of, but we need to be taken care of as well. This isn't about trying to break the family bank or trying to not be responsible, but what this really is about is for you to believe that you are enough already, and that you are worth the time and effort that it takes, so that you can find a swimsuit and accessories, so that this summer you can be a part of making connections with others. So lose the guilt, ladies. Find a swimsuit that's amazing. Shari and I are going to wrap this up because we would love to stay connected to you. And so we want to share with you our connect information. So Shari, I'm getting ready to put it here on the screen. Why don't you tell the ladies about how they can stay connected to you?
Awesome. Well, I have a Fashion Meets Faith Facebook page, and you can just Google Fashion Meets Faith with Shari on Facebook, and I am there. But also, I have a weekly newsletter that goes out. It's very short and full of great information, and it goes out every Wednesday about 2 o'clock Eastern time. And so would love to have you join in on that. You can sign up at my website, fashionmeetsfaith.com. And love to have you on that. So also, I know this is out in October, but I forgot about this. I need to mention, I do beauty boot camp once a year with my good friend and partner in crime, Donna Rowland, from Faithfully Fashionable. And we have a boot camp coming up in October. We do it every year. We only accept about 30 women. And so this year, each one of you are actually going to get personal shopping time, because our CICs, some of our Christian image consultants, are coming as well. And so if that sounds like something you would want to do, email me. Go send me a message on Facebook, or you can always email me at Shari@fashionmeetsfaith.com, or on my website, just look under training and beauty boot camp and you'll find it there. But back to you, Barb.
Well, ladies, I would encourage you. Shari she is somebody I've had so much fun with for months. So please, if you have not connected with her, connect with her. And I would love to connect with you as well. BarbRoose.com. Every week I send out just an encouraging blog. I talk about matters related to our shape, our style, and our soul. And so some weeks I'm talking about just what's happening in clothing and wardrobe malfunctions. Some weeks I'm talking about the spiritual stuff and about how we can connect to God and each other. Both Shari and I believe that as women, we are created to be the standard bearers of beauty by God. And especially if you call yourself a Christian woman, that this is an area that we can quickly and easily connect with women everywhere, that beauty can actually be a way to share the gospel. And so I hope that we have a chance to stay in touch with you. And then we've got one more thing that we want to share with you, because later on in the year, we're going to move away from swimsuits, and then we're going to move into the fall season. And Shari and I would love to hang out with you this fall. And so Shari, can you tell them a little bit about our Fall in the Fabulous? We don't have a ton of details, but give them what we got.
Right, absolutely. Fall hits, summer's over, kids are back in school, you've done school shopping, and then it's time for you. And I want to help you with what the fall trends are, if you were only going to buy a couple of pieces, what they should be, how you can transition your summer wardrobe into fall and winter. And I will be excited to bring that news to you, and we want to share that with you. And then Barb, tell them what you're going to be speaking about.
And for this broadcast, I'm going to be talking about how we become women that care. And it's really the why behind taking care of ourselves. Not necessarily all the whens and the whats, but it is the why we as women can stand up and confidently care for ourselves without guilt, and how we can recognize the different seasons of our lives, because how we take care of ourselves, it really follows along with the different seasons. There are times in life when we have time to do more things than others, and how we can navigate that. So that is coming this fall. So, well, Shari, we are near the end of our broadcast. It's time for us to say goodbye to the ladies. Are you ready to say goodbye, Shari?
I'm ready. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. We so honor you and appreciate you for being with us, because, ladies, we couldn't do what we do without you, and we know that you took precious time away from your families tonight to be with us. So thank you very much.
Bye-bye, ladies. Watch our link, share it with your friends, and we'll see you again soon. God bless.
Bye.